The Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high quality, and greatly satisfied service, the Frida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post-construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call 567-249-9172. La Frida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless. Join me every Tuesday for fun and games and play for cash. That's right. SILVYAMID, the fun word guessing game, is back and you can come aboard and play. It's simple. Just email us your name and contact information and you are in there, baby. Yeah. Today's guest on the Queen Silvy Show, on a level all his own, rising to stardom, composing some of the best electronica music. From Toledo, Ohio, composer, musician, songwriter, Fantom Frost. And SILVYAMID, the fun word guessing game, takes on another contestant going for all that cash.
Tune in at 11, good laugh, good vibe, that's for sure. Get smooth with Tim, get smooth with Tim. They have you running like you popped the pill. Once you hear the show, you ain't gonna want it to end. Get creative with the sounds you can make with your mouth. Reaching all over the world, Queen Silvy in the house. Award-winning show, got the #1 spot, look out. It's the Queen Silvy Show, 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 it's the Queen Silvy Show.
Hi, this is Joe Mass. You are listening to the Queen Silvy Show. You are now part of the royalty.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live, it's time for the silky smooth sounds of Smooth Tim and Her Majesty herself, Queen Silvy.
Hey, this is Smooth Tim, and thank you so very much for joining us on another terrific Tuesday on the Queen Silvy Show. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce to you the world's sexiest granny, everyone's favorite comedian, the Queen herself, Queen Silvy.
That's right. It is me, Queen Silvy. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this great world. Thank you for tuning in, for listening in to the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. We're honored that you are here. Do spread the word. You are in for a treat today. Smooth, how are you?
I'm doing terrific on this Tuesday, Queen, and might I ask, how are you doing?
Well, as always, I'm supercalifragilistic.
Expialidocious, I suppose, is 24/7, 365. Queen Silvy, you're just simply
Amazing.
Yes, you are.
True that. I am amazing. But you are amazing, Smooth. You are amazing, as well as our amazing guests and lineups and announcements for today, don't we?
Actually, our amazing guest, he is amazing. And that is Fantom Frost. He is a composer, musician, and songwriter out of Toledo, Ohio. And we'll get to enjoy him in just a little bit. And also, we're going to be playing SILVYAMID a little bit later. And hopefully you caught the advertisement for that. Otherwise, Sylvia will promote it a little later in the program, I am sure.
Yeah, better believe it.
While we're at announcements, our hearts and prayers are going out around the world, especially to the people of the Ukraine. Wow. We're thinking and we're praying for y'all.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yes, it's real bad. Anyhow, take a moment, if you would please, and look at the top of the screen, and you'll see scrolling there different ways to follow us on our social media sites. But more importantly, go to www.thequeensylvyshow.com and get on our friends list by hitting the contact tab. And that'll get you into our friends club, and you'll get to know about what we have coming up on the show, as well as get yourself, if you'd like to be a contestant on the SILVYAMID game. You can do it that way, too.
Come on, get that free cash.
Get that free cash, because the monthly winner gets some cash.
That's right. No matter where you are, hey, we love paying it forward.
That's what it's all about,
That's
paying
right,
it forward.
That's right.
Hey, if you would, because you are worth it, Foxy 5 Jewelry. It is sassy, elegant, and affordable jewelry and accessories for you and or that someone special. Right, Queen?
Absolutely.
Get a hold of Monica Wright on Facebook and or visit her website at www.foxy5jewelry.com. That would be the numeral 5.
That's right.
Also, another way to keep up with us, Queen, is go to our YouTube channel. And we have content of all of our shows, all 3 of our shows, as well as some other projects that the Queen and I work on. So get yourself over there, go to our YouTube channel, and please subscribe.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. More subscribers, the better the content. The better the content, the more enjoyment.
You'll know something they don't know.
That's right. And you'll know something they don't know. So now you know.
That sounds familiar.
It's another show. Hey, you know what? How your lawn looks says a whole lot about you. So put your lawn care maintenance into the hands of a professional who really cares. That is Top Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. They are licensed, insured, reasonable. That is the best thing. They are reasonable, especially in today's society.
I was going to say.
Of course, with the price of gas, it might cost,
say.
who knows what's going to happen. But anyhow, give them a call for some residential and or commercial services. Top Notch Lawn Care Toledo, 419-708-0005.
I like that.
I do too.
You did great.
Thank you. You do fantastic.
I know, because I'm...
Supercalifragilistic.
And I'm also...
Amazing.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Make sure I was listening today.
Yeah, well, you know. If they don't know, you know.
I see how you are.
All right. Hey, you know what? I am honored that you are here on this terrific Tuesday. The Queen Silvy Show. Do spread the word. You are in for a treat. You're always in for a treat, because we bring the best in live entertainment, talents, and topics, and resources from around the world just for you. The lines are open if you wish to call and ask our guest a question, give a shout out, or holler at Smooth or myself. That number is... the number is... You know, every week I always got to do a... The number is 817-602-0577. That's the number how you can get in touch with Smooth and myself or my guest on the Queen Silvy Show. Before we get into my conversation with my wonderful guest, what I'd like to do at this moment is...
I suppose you want to give some words of inspiration for the people out there so they'll feel inspired and you can uplift them. She does this every week. Enjoy.
I'd like to share some motivational words for the Queen Silvy Show to you. True happiness involves the full use of one's powers and talents. I really believe that everyone has a talent, an ability, or skill that he can mine to support himself and succeed in life. You just have to find that thing that's special about you, that distinguishes you from all others. And through true talent, hard work, and passion, anything can happen. So remember, your greatest talent is so much more powerful than your biggest fear. So go on, soar. And those are some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. There's that audience. Boy,
There you
that
go,
audience be so
inspiring me
surprised.
again.
Well, you know,
See, you do it every week.
I can do it every day.
You are amazing.
I know I am.
Yes, you
I am
are.
amazing. And you are amazing as well. And I thank you again for tuning into the Queen Silvy Show. I have a special message I want you to check out. And when you get back, or when we get back, let's
Indeed.
get it on with my first guest.
With our
on the
special
Queen Silvy
guest.
Show. Right?
I can't wait. I am actually getting
Looking forward
excited.
to it. Want the best for your dog? Then see Yitka, owner at Vita Canis, specializing in aromatherapy products for dogs and their owners. Here at Vita Canis, we help you to naturally and organically improve the health and happiness of your dog. Check out the website, www.vitacanis.co.uk. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook.
And hey, welcome back to
Loving
the
you
show.
on this terrific Tuesday indeed. Listen, on a level all his own, rising to stardom. He's composing some of the best electronica or down-tempo music, encompassing pop, rock, and any other kind of music I guarantee you'll love. I introduce to you from Toledo, Ohio, composer, musician, songwriter, Fantom Frost. Hey. Hello, Mr. Fantom Frost. How are you today?
Good.
Tell me about that
nice.
name, Fantom Frost. That's interesting.
That's an interesting one. But it actually was from a friend. I used to work at a Walmart, and I was always in Frozen. And he knew I did music, and he just came up with the idea: is you ought to call yourself. I think it was Frost, and then I didn't think it sounded cool enough, so I added the Phantom in front of it.
I like it.
I don't know why I thought about that. I tend to name things just what comes the first thought that comes to my head.
Well, see, you're starting off right there with a conversation piece, Fantom Frost. They're like, oh, tell me about Fantom Frost. You know,
It does add a little bit of zing to it, though.
yes,
I like it.
Yes, indeed. You are,
It's a lot in the mouth, though.
yeah. Well, you're originally from Kettering, Ohio, which is a suburb of Dayton, Ohio. I've never
Yes.
been there. For someone else like myself who's never been there, tell me something about Kettering, Ohio. What are they're
Well,
famous for?
Kettering, when I was a kid, Kettering was like a playland to me. I mean, you have good memories of being a kid and being around in the neighborhood, playing with the school kid or playing with the other kids and going to school. I remember walking to school. We would play bike tag in the neighborhood, chase fireflies at night in some of the fields. So it was always it always had good memories to me. Now I went back recently, well, within 10 years, I should say. I went back, and a lot of the houses either were in disrepair or they might have had a fire and burned down, and there's just a lot of empty lots at that time. I recently did a Google Maps search for it and found some new pictures that they revitalized the neighborhood some. So I'm going to have to probably go back and visit again.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. As a start, early on, you played the piano. I'm looking at all the instruments around you currently as a musician. What other instruments do you play? Tell me about that.
Well, I would have to say probably piano is the first and foremost thing that I've ever always had. I have this thing with always wanting to touch a piano anytime I see one. And that it hadn't gotten me into trouble yet, but people always want you to play something for them. So it's hard for me to do it on the spot. However, I've also tried to teach myself how to play bass guitar, and I would like to get into electronic drumming. I do finger drumming up on this device. But I haven't really gotten into the actual physical part of the drumming. I think it would be fun as kind of a workout, because some drummers, I see them and I'm like, I don't even know how they keep up that energy.
Right? Makes my arms tired just to see a whole concert with the drummer doing it. I don't know how they do it either. I like the bass guitar too, but my original instrument that I grew up playing is the spoons. So I'm great at playing the spoons.
I tried that before once.
Yeah.
I never really could get the hang of it, but it was pretty
it might
cool
not have been your thing. I'm looking at all those buttons that you have, and I'm like, I can't do that either, you know.
I had to make my own instruments when I was a kid. I mean, you know, I had made the typical cigar box guitar.
Oh, yeah.
I, you know, would have some pots and pans and some bowls and stuff and make a drum set out of that.
That's how you do it.
And then I think I was probably second grade. My mom and dad got me, well, they said it was Santa, but mom and dad bought me what was called a Pianosaurus piano. And it was a little time piano, and it was in the shape of a dinosaur. And it was adorable, you know. So I played on that. And I think one year my brother got an electronic organ back from the 70s. I would say it would have been about that time. And it was more for playing like hymns and stuff like that. But I always thought that was fun to play with too, because he never really got into it. So I would take that over and play that. I had a metal bed frame when I was a kid, and I remember making sounds with it with different pieces.
That is amazing.
And a thimble and.
Well, I would think that you were from my neighborhood, because listen, when mom told us go outside and play, listen, I can make music with flicking sticks, okay? Whatever it takes, music is able to be created from anything. But tell me about your background. What inspired you to even take the first steps into making music?
Well, like I said, I had piano access in an early age. There was always one of my family members. We went to go see him. I would kind of sit over to the side and play on the keys, you know, randomly. So I guess I always had access to it. If I didn't have that, I would get the chance to play the grand piano at the church that my mom would clean after Sunday school. So I might get a chance to do that. And of course, I think all the kids probably can relate. If your mom goes to choir, you might have had to sit there and watch her,
right?
You know, practice.
Right.
So I did that too. I guess I've gotten influences from everything, but it's mostly always been from having a piano anywhere, or at least close to me. I think I went a couple years without any kind of keyboard, and it nearly got me to the point where I never wanted to play again. So I think what broke it was I went over to a friend's house, and he happened to have a piano, and he's like, "Don't you play some?" And I said, "Yeah," but I was reluctant to do it. So I sat down at the bench, and I was talking to him, and I started getting nervous. And I guess, you know, I started hitting the keys, and I would come up with something he liked. So he's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't really intend to make anything. It's just basically a bunch of sounds put together."
Well, you know what? You have a gift. You have a gift and skill, talent. I love your music. When I listen to it, I'm like, I really want to have you on the show and share your gift. You're the entire band.
Now, did you take anything, any type of music while you was in grade school, junior high, high school?
In grade school, I tried out for band, and I believe it was trumpet. And I didn't really like it because it was so physically demanding, I guess, you know, blowing in there. And then I would see, I think we saw an episode of one of the daytime shows, and Dizzy Gillespie was on, and his cheeks were puffed out. Right. And I'm like, wow, that's going to take a lot of effort. So I never really pursued that one in grade school, and I never did anything other than, like I said, played piano when I got a chance, just to mess around with it in a relative's home or in the church that my mom cleaned after Sunday school.
That's all right. You've been inclined to music your whole life, and your parents obviously seen the potential that you have and the skill that you have in it. But if someone had never heard your music, what key words would you describe to describe your overall sound and your style?
Uh, that's a hard one because it's really harder to talk a lot about myself. If I had to say, if you wanted to listen to something that has a lot more pizzazz than elevator music, but still sits in the background and lets you talk, it would be my music.
All right, I like that. And your
I don't
music,
want to associate it with the dentist office because that's a bad
right? We're not going there, buddy.
right?
Right. So electronica or down tempo is the type of music that you are. What's the difference? Because I've seen electronic music and I've seen electronica music. So
I
what's
guess
the difference in that?
electronic music is really the definition of music is made from artificial means, electronical means. The earlier days, pretty rudimentary. They didn't have a lot of the they were annoying sounds, really. They were annoying sounds, but it was something that it progressed up into the 60s when I guess that would be called the golden age of synthesizers were around, and a lot of people were making these kits that would be able to make a keyboard, much like Apple did with their Apple One. Well, there were different companies that you could order out of the back of magazines, and usually they're advertising Keyboard Magazine or some musical magazine. You could order these kits in order to build a keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how a lot of people that, like, say, Rick Wakeman or Jeff Downs or any of the keyboardists of the great eras that we've had, played in major groups like, Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I don't think we would have had those if they would have not had the access to the instruments to begin with.
Right.
I don't think anybody would have went further on the piano and made anything close to what we have now. Now, I have to say, I always started out on the piano sound, but it always progresses to something else.
When I think of piano, I think of Liberace.
You know, the first time I got down,
Right.
the first time I got really blown away from a person on a piano with a synthesizer with I seen Gary Wright play.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
And I was like,
Well,
man.
I think he's flying airplanes now, but it's time. Yeah, Gary Wright, Cars. No, I'm sorry, Dreamweaver.
Right, Dreamweaver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you yourself have 7 albums under your belt. Am I correct?
Yeah, 7 albums, 2 of which are somewhere. They're not online available anywhere. I just looked it up, and Amazon had taken down my physical album that you could buy, but I'm going to go and probably re-upload those as a stream. So probably within a couple months, I'll have another album, or at least a re-release of an album.
Mm-hmm.
Probably making you do a recontract on negotiating, their percentage of what they're going to charge you.
It was through TuneCore, and they don't really own the music. They just own the publishing rights at that time.
Right.
So now I'm with DistroKid, and you basically can just upload what you want on there. I think they do take a cut, but it's more leaning towards them than the musical artist. Streaming royalties go anywhere from half a cent to down. So a lot of people these days are making a lot of streams on the radio and on the airwaves, but they're not making a lot of money from those. Even the big stars are making a ton of cash.
Yeah. Well, you're out there doing it, and I see great things and potential from you. I'm honored that of your albums, we will showcase 3 songs from 3 of the different albums that you have. But tell me what it is that you want people to feel when they hear your music.
That's really up to them. The interpretation, always been my goal is to not have lyrics to it, so I don't give my own impression of say, a situation or influenced him in any way. So the music, I guess, really is just like an impressionistic painting. You get your own ideas of what you see. I would like for them to at least take away from my music that it kind of makes them calm. I mean, not all my songs are that way, but the ones that are of the lower tempo, they really get an attachment to it. If not psychological, if not a subliminal attachment.
Yes, all right. Understandable.
I like
Music,
that angle.
Very much. Music is magical, so how it affects you or another individual is different, but it is very much impactful. Your latest album, The Seven Trimbles of Van Gogh. Tell me about the title of that album. How did you come about that before we showcase the song from it?
Well, I've always loved Van Gogh, and I always loved impressionistic paintings. And sometimes I think of myself as a painter of music or a painter on sound, which is kind of arrogant to say, but I guess a lot of my music has been impressionistic to start with. So Van Gogh has always been my favorite impressionist painting, and I've had multiple paintings of his or prints of his paintings.
That's all right.
In my apartments or whatever.
Well, that's all right.
I always loved them. So I was coming up with the idea, and it usually, even in my songs, the ideas come to my head. They just pop in there when I'm thinking of something. I'll kind of grab a thought here and there. But I think this time I wanted to use Van Gogh as the basis for it, because he did do a lot of different subjects. Even though his style was always pretty consistent, he did a lot of different subjects. And there's a lot of things in the world these days. In fact, if you go down to the Toledo Museum, you might have 7 different interpretations from 7 different people of one painting. I think Water Lilies of his is at the Toledo Zoo.
He's a famous guy, and when you put that word Van Gogh in anything, you're going to turn heads. But it gets even further when they listen to your music. Perfect song on this terrific Tuesday, Eating Out on a Tuesday. Anything you want to say about this song before we showcase it?
Hopefully you like it.
Oh, I already like it, let me just say. And I hope you like it too, as I present to you Fantom Frost and Eating Out on a Tuesday, right here on the Queen Silvy Show. you know, that makes my feet tap, my shoulders go. Somebody might think I can dance, and I sure can't dance. But it's a good, easy listening music that, listen, I can be on the road traveling to another city. All of your music fits right in so great. Just sitting at home, chilling. Your music is so fantastic. I want to know, because you are the master. You are the master behind this entire eating out on a Tuesday in every song. What is your creative process like? I mean, how do you do what you do? I see all those buttons and all that things, but listen, it's a process. So tell me about yours.
It is. I never really have anything written down. I never have anything in mind when I start doing stuff. And a lot of times they come as an accident, I guess. I'll be sitting in and playing something that I think sounds good, maybe a chord progression, maybe just a sound in general that I think sounds really cool, and I want to put it into a song. And using native instrument stuff is really intuitive to actually do that creative process, where I guess you could say it's possible to get away from all the distraction of the computers, the instant messengers, and the phones, and just sit and create with the instruments that you have. But sometimes those inspirations or those times actually come when I have just my phone with me. And the iPhone has a lot of good apps that you can use to make music of yourself, or do some kind of audio sketch, if you will. But I never really have anything. Mine just always starts with something that I like. Maybe it's a rhythm, and then it progresses from there by adding stuff in, kind of like if you're trying to make a new soup. And you start with the base, and then you add in some vegetables or some seasonings and stuff, and sometimes it turns out terrible. But other times they come up and you like them, and then you start to work with them a little bit more. Sometimes the spark, you just lose it somewhere in the middle of that song, and I have a file, or several files in fact, of several hundreds of things that have never actually seen the light of day and might never do it, but they're little snippets, I guess, of inspiration that I had at the time. Maybe I'll use them one day.
So are you like compiling the music, so to speak?
Well, I won't say that you mean compiling actually the sounds together? Yeah, absolutely. That is
where you may be able to take things in and out, and to your suiting, and you may say, hey, I want to add something a little bit different to this and take this portion out. Now that's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, that is. Sometimes I add too much in there, and there's a way to take those out or mute them. You can turn off certain sounds as they're playing. If it doesn't sound good in there, you can delete the entire track if you want. But that's how I do it. I kind of take stuff out, put stuff in, try something, and usually it turns into something that is completely different from the idea that I had. It said I usually always start out with a piano sound, but it always progresses into something else.
That's all right. I love it.
I think the best start I have is after watching a good movie.
Well, that's all right. You have a big variety of inspiration that triggers these masterpieces. I'm gonna call it a masterpiece. I love every song that you have done. Really, I'm glad that I've come across you, and you're here in Northwest Ohio, showing the world what it is about it. But the world has been going through this COVID-19, and it has affected everyone in some type of way. But for you, Fantom Frost, has this pandemic affected or interfered in any way with your music push?
It never really affected it so much as it was kind of I guess when we were in lockdown, I guess it was mostly, well, I can't go outside, so I'll go up and try to do something else. And I've kind of moved studios from my old house in Delta when I moved up here to Toledo. And I've had instruments that I really like, but some of them collected dust. So I kind of sold some of those that I had just to bring in some new ones.
Hey.
I think any musician is going to do that too. They'll find something they really like
Oh yeah.
And then they like it for a while, and then after a while you got to get rid of it. People
I
do it
know
with
exactly
cars.
what you mean. I've changed spoons. After a while the clicking didn't sound right anymore, so I had to get some more spoons. But you do what you have to do, but to keep that passion alive, nevertheless. 6 COVID months later is the name of another album that you have out there. This song is entitled Glitch Mob Miami. What do you want to share about the 6 COVID months later? That's the title of the album. That's when you're supposed to say something. I'm asking.
Hey, wait a minute. Yes, please tell us a little bit.
I'm asking you about it.
I like it. I like it, but I guess it's done. It's nothing that I want to go back to. Everything that I produce is so I get it finished. All of those songs that are on that album represented probably only the top 5% of the stuff that I had done in the time that we were in lockdown for those 2 months.
Well, how do you come up with the titles? Like Glitch Mob Miami. Now, that's
Look at
catchy.
this.
I
I'm
like
looking
that.
at this. Yeah, 6 COVID months later. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the number is because it's the 6th album. I usually try to work the number into the title in some way. I've been doing that since I think album 4.
That's cool.
I think the names for the songs sometimes will just come from what it makes me feel. If I watched a movie and it inspired me to do it, sometimes I put inspired by. For instance, I was watching Westworld a couple albums back, and there was 2 songs in particular that really were inspired by Westworld. It necessarily wasn't something similar to that, but it was definitely something in the genre of a kind of a Western. And in fact, in my earlier days, I wanted to do a film composition where I, do the scores for films. So I think that's where a lot of inspiration comes from for me to do this stuff, or at least the drive.
Well, you know what? It's a great tune off of the album 6 COVID Months Later. The name of the track is Glitch Mob Miami. The superstar behind it all, Fantom Frost. Check this out right here on the Queen Silvy Show. Glitch Mob Miami. Fantom Frost is the name. You can go and check him out in just a moment because we're going to tell you about that in just a moment. Smooth.
I had a question about your diversity in musical taste. I mean, are you into country, hip hop, R&B, blues? I mean, do you like all those types of music? Do you ever think about possibly incorporating that, or give me a little bit about what your tastes are.
I think any music is inspirational, even ones that sound really horrible. But everything's inspirational because you can always take something from it. You can get an interpretation from somebody else's song, or at least inspiration. And I'll tell you that I've always believed that people have memories associated with sounds or songs or something like that. A lot of times you'll hear a song on the radio and you kind of know where you were at one time when you heard that song.
That's true. That is so true.
It is very true. You know, a lot of times when I'm tooling around on my guitar, I'll just be playing into chords and just probably like just playing, and all of a sudden it's like, that's a song, and you start putting it back. Oh yeah, it's a song I remember, and it could be back from who knows when, but you're right, it sticks with you.
So, you know, social media has become music's best concert venue. I mean, I've seen some artists on social media doing concerts and things that I've never could afford their tickets to go see them in concert. You know, you have a lot of uprising indie artists. You have some of the accomplished artists all coming to social media because that's the end thing now. But tell me, for you, Fantom Frost, how do you work the internet in order to benefit and expose yourself and your great music?
I never really think about it other than putting it up for people to stream and maybe, you know, putting some links to friends. I really don't do much more than that at the moment. For me, I make the music for me, I guess. And I'm thankful that I can actually put it out for other people to see what they think. Whether they hate it or they love it, it's out there.
Right.
And you gotta get both, right?
Push more than that.
Well, so for you, then, what keeps you motivated and going musically?
Continue to do it.
So we all want to hear more of it. You know, have you thought about maybe doing?
It's always something I've always done.
Yeah.
Whether it's put out there or not. Like I said, I have files of hundreds and hundreds of things that are never going to see the light of day because it's just something I enjoy doing. It's kind of like if you're crocheting, you probably have a lot of crocheted things in your house. And sometimes you share them with people and they like them.
So, I mean, have you ever considered maybe even your music could even go for the back score of a movie? you know,
Well,
or
that's actually what I originally wanted to be, was a film scorer or a film
yeah,
composer,
I can
like
see that.
Hans Zimmer. And I never really thought it would be possible to get into a field, because at that time I only saw major movies and there was probably a handful of people that did those.
Hey,
So it's
you
kind of
know,
like trying to get into the major league, baseball team.
well, you know what, you can do it. You can do it. It's out there and available.
It's absolutely.
It's more widespread now from the internet, and then people making their own videos, and there's YouTube, and that's one of my side goals, to get onto YouTube. I'm hoping to start a channel to go over and share the creative process, and maybe get other people's idea of creative process and see how that works.
That sounds good.
That's really the thing that I enjoy the most, is other people's creative processes, and see what they do that inspires them. Maybe because I'm still looking for my own.
Well, have you even considered, being the guide for our youth, perhaps, and teaching the organ, teaching music, even through online? You can even do it online.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not sure I'm the person that I want to be teaching other people to do it, so much as letting them teach themselves. I mean, I taught myself mostly everything that I know. YouTube wasn't around then, so I kind of taught myself how to do it. These days we have so many resources, and if I tried to teach, I think it might touch a couple people, and they like, I really got something out of yours, and then it might not do it for other people. They might not understand the concept. Sometimes I have concepts that I don't understand how to explain to somebody else how to do them.
Understand.
Interesting. Now, would you ever consider doing like a musical score with some of the independent filmmakers?
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun. I've actually done a couple of, I won't say scores, but it was more like pieces that I put into a student film
That's
when I was
cool.
in UG, and then somebody I knew up here in the University of Toledo that had their film, and they wanted some music to it. I'm like, sure, I'll put something in there.
Well, that's cool.
I don't think it went with the music, but he liked it, and he subsequently said other people liked it in there too. So it would be interesting if you turn the sound down, or if you just have the dialogue playing on a movie. It's not nearly as interesting.
That's cool. I mean, that is really cool. Get an EPK together and start sending out your stuff to people.
Some of these independent,
never know on the real. Never know.
There's a lot of independent filmmakers out there looking for people who can do exactly what you can do.
Believe in yourself, Fantom Frost. You have it going on right now. A skill and a talent so many wish they could do like you. But what's next for you? I mean, we have the 7 Trimbles of Van Gogh, the latest album. You got any projects, concerts? What's going on for you for the rest of 2022?
Honestly, I've thought about the busking that we had talked about earlier, and I might actually go do that somehow. I don't know. I've always wanted to go out and do a live show, but I'm not sure I can handle the outside or the indoor crowd, because it is COVID still. I mean, it's still out there.
Right.
So it's kind of nervous, but I mean, busking on a sidewalk street performer, that might be kind of fun to do.
Hey, that's cool.
Time to drop in on the Black Swamp Festival, right?
Yeah.
It would be fun.
Why not? I think they do let independent artists set up there in between some. Yeah, so why not?
They're not gonna know if you don't send them and tell them.
I've thought about being in a band, but I just don't know if I could.
Are you kidding? Be in a band? You're the whole band right there. Did you hear this great music that you created, you yourself? That is fantastic. Fantastic. So listen, before we go out, because we're going to go out with from the album Fifth Chance Capacitor, what's the motto? Share one of your motto or words to live by.
Always try to do what you want in life. If it doesn't pay money, if it does pay a lot of money, just do what you want to do because you want to do it. creative wise, it might be playing a piano, it might be writing, it might be making movies. I think everybody should have a creative outlet.
Absolutely. A purpose. I
Right.
call it a purpose.
It's just something to do that you enjoy doing. And I guess to me, music really is therapeutic as well. I think I put this album out. It was obviously previous songs that I had that I just didn't think were going to make it. I called it my toss file because it would have been, I probably would have tossed it or something like that, but I put it back to see what, I can do with it. So, and I was kind of going through a really troubling time. My cousin had died a good couple months ago. He had died, and it was kind of traumatic because me and him went through high school and grew up together. And I really worked through it, I guess, from doing the music, because maybe it kept my mind on good thoughts. Maybe it helped me just get through it. So I think everybody should have some creative outlet they do just because it makes them smile.
I agree. I totally agree with you on that. Well said, Fantom Frost. Yes. So listen, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we go? Like maybe something you want to say that I didn't ask?
Nothing I can really think of off the top of my head. I'm not really good.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. We're enjoying our conversation.
Yes, thank you very much.
We look forward to even having you back again. So trust me, I know next time I want to talk about gaming. Am I correct? That's your second love.
It is. It's something that I like to do. Other than, I'll game, and sometimes I'll play music, and sometimes they take the entire day up.
Well, that's a good relaxing thing, though. Are you kidding? That's a good way to unwind.
It is, yeah.
Well, tell everybody how you can be followed on social media and contacted for booking.
Fantom Frost is on the internet, on Bandcamp. It's on all major streaming sites. So just look for Fantom Frost, FANTOM FROST. And I do have it on Instagram as well, and there's a Facebook page as well for that.
All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate you taking the time and being on the show. We look forward to so much with you. You have great potential. Get an EPK and start sending your stuff out to people, because somebody's going to reel you in. And I'm going to look on TV and see your name going across like, you know what? I had him on my show. I know him.
Musical credits.
I know him. Oh. But we're going to go out with, from the album Fifth Chance Capacitor. The name of the tune is Bubbles in Traffic. Anything you want to say about it?
This is one of my favorites.
It's a good tune. It's a good tune. I present it to you right now. Go and follow this young man doing some fantastic things. Bubbles in Traffic is the name of the tune. Check this out right here on the Queen Silvy Show. Thanks again, Fantom Frost. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes. Listen, go and follow phantomfrost.net. Find him on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. This guy is blowing up.
Yeah, I like that music.
I like that music too.
It's real nice electric music, man. You know, you've heard it. I've been to some EDM events, and that's a little bit too.
Well, yeah, you have
this is more of a casual
music and electronica music. The more of the electronic music, is like you said, EDM, where you're more boo boo boo, more dancing. This is more laid back and
had my foot tapping.
Yeah, I like it very much. Phantom Frost is the name.
Thank you very much for joining
us. Right
us.
here on the Queen Silvy Show. I thank you for tuning in because guess what? SILVYAMID, the fun word guessing game, is coming up in just a few moments. But before we do, while Smooth get connected with our contestant for today, I'd like to give some shout outs if I may.
You may.
I do. Shout out to you, Helen Myers, Peace Myers. Shout out to Corey and Casey Patino. Joan Mercer, Aaliyah Asia, Maya Tay, and Camille. Shout out to you. Okay. Go interrupt the girl when she trying to do her shout outs. What? Shout out to you, to my princes, my Omari, Jonathan Jr., Tyron. Shout out to you. Shout out to LP and Cynthia, Queen Sonia, Queen Khaki, Queen Camille, Queen Precious, Alana, and Brianna. Shout out to you. Shout out to C. Shorty Franklin, Lonnie Starks. Shout out to you. Thought I wasn't going to get you in. Oh, yes, I did. Pam Bailey, Renita Easley, Gold Rosa, and Donna Ferry. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Lee Allen Sr., Websterito Hostile Flow. He is out of Johannesburg, South Africa, as well as Amy Kanema from Africa. Shout out to you, my beautiful queens. To my queens, my beautiful queens over in the United Kingdom, Beth Lambert, Nicola Jones, Bethany Jones, and Kay Cross. Shout out to you. Shout out to James and Audrey out of Alabama. Sassy Savage. She's a great hip-hop artist. That is B-A-D, baby, bad, out of Mississippi. Go and check her out anywhere. Just type it in. From the Netherlands, we have Edith Verg. Shout out to you as well. Miguel Montalban out of Spain. Shout out to you. Hey, listen, if you would love to be shouted out or you have someone you would like to honor and we would represent and give you a shout out, just simply send us a name, contact information to queensylvy@comic.com or the website, The Queen Silvy Show, or wherever you are viewing or listening to this. We will gladly get it in and represent you well 3 days a week. And in fact, speaking of 3 days a week, Tuesdays today, the terrific Tuesday and the Queen Silvy Show. Tomorrow we have the magnificent Smooth Tim and special co-host from Texas, Larry E. with Tim's Tidbits. You are in for a treat. That is in the evenings, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do check your time zones, but be in the place. That is the place to be right there. And coming up this week on Thursday, terrific Thursday in the Now You Know Show with Queen Silvy and Smooth Tim with encouraging and inspirational segments from the heart and funny segments as well.
And from around the world.
That's right, just for you. You are so in for a treat. We try to round that middle of the week and give you the best of live entertainment, talents, topics from around the world to you. SILVYAMID is up now. We have a contestant that is waiting online to let's see what he can do.
Do we really?
For the month of March, going for all that cash. What SILVYAMID is our contestant will have 60 seconds to name as many words as he can, beginning with the letter smooth, will give out. And whomever at the end of the month has the most words named wins all that cash.
Is our winner.
It's just that simple. Our contestant is here, Smooth.
Can you hear us, contestant?
I can hear you.
Well, now, this is a familiar face. He's a superstar in his own right. You can find him and his brother Smith sketch, The Creation Behind It All, on Thursdays. Now You Know Show with Smooth Tim. I'm not going to spill the beans. If you want to know more, you ready for the challenge?
I'm ready.
All right. You heard how the rules of how to play the game. It's not something that's old to you. You know how to play the game. Smooth is going to call out a letter. Let me get my timer to correct. Just one moment.
Yes, no cheating, Queen.
Do I look look like a cheater to you?
They can't see you right now. They're looking at our guests.
Okay. So, Smooth is going to call out a letter. I'll say on your mark, get set, go. And you will have 60 seconds to name as many words beginning with that letter. Smooth, what is the letter today?
The letter of the day is A.
The letter is A. On your mark, get set, go.
Ant, ants, arc, archer, archery, app, apple, amazing, amazed, amp, amplifier, afternoon, after, ankle, actor, actress, auntie, aunties, angle, angles, Andy, Andy.
20, 22.
That's what I
I
got.
got 22. 22 words. Woo! Set it on. Set it on. Let me see. Who had that words last time? I got to go look into it. I don't have it in front of me. But for today, guess what? 22 words is not bad at all. Let's see how that holds up. We have a contestant next week that'll be coming in trying to bump you on out the way. But until then, you have it.
Moving on up.
Yes, indeed. You had those few seconds where you was like, thinking, and see, clock continues to go. It's easier when you're playing and not against the clock.
It's like any other game show. It's set at home is a piece of cake. You're like, well, how can he just not
I win the Price is Right all the time, but I bet if I went on the
almost
show.
all the time. You know.
But hey, it is what it is. You did great. I appreciate you taking the time today to play SILVYAMID, the fun word guessing game. 22 words is what you have. I thank you so much. Tell everybody how you can be followed on social media.
Well, thank you for letting me come on the show. And we can be followed by TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. You know, I'll see you on Thursdays Now You Know show with Queen Silvy and Smooth. Hey, enjoy the rest of your day, and I thank you again for participating.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. There you have it. There you have it. 22 words.
22.
That's not bad.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's not bad. If
you think you can handle it.
That's right. If you think you're
right there
good,
at the top of the screen, see that.
Come on, hit me up. QueenSilvy@comment.com, theQueenSilvyShow.com, or wherever you're viewing or listening to this. Send that message in the comment section. Smooth will take care of business, and we'll get you on too. Because if you think you're good, let's get it. We're giving away free cash.
Hey, there's money in your pocket if you think you can do it.
The banks don't give away free cash, but we do here on the Queen Silvy Show. And I do want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been a great day. PhantomFrost.net. Find this guy. He's doing some great things. He may even compose something for your special event. How about that? Doesn't that sound interesting?
That would be interesting.
It sure would. Hey, you can follow Queen Silvy any and everywhere. Simply Google me. Sylvie Starks, Queen Silvy, or the Queen Silvy Show. I'm that versatile, baby. That's right. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all those other things as well, just like Smooth can be followed.
On Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but the easiest way to do that is to get a hold of us on our www.thequeensilvyshow.com and get on our contact page, and you can keep up with everything, and we'll keep you informed.
That's right. Hey, listen, if you'd like to be a contestant for SILVYAMID, if you'd like to be a contestant on the Queen Silvy Show, if you'd like to join the Queen Silvy Show Friends Club, listen, send us a message and give us a contact information. Next week on the show, we have from United Kingdom back again, Yika, with Vita Canis, and she will be doing the drawing. That's right. We've given away this month another gift pack that is fantastic. Last month we had a contestant that won out of the drawing, and it's simple. If you are a pet owner, you have a dog, just simply send us your name, your pet's name. Picture is optionable, but send it to queensylvia@comic.com wherever you're viewing or listening to this. Facebook has great advertisements going on about it, but get connected and get in. All you have to do, simple. It's simple. There's good people out here with good products, good things to offer.
And best of all, it's free if you win.
That's right. That's right. That's leaving free.
That's not even
free.
postage and handling. You don't got to pay with anything. You know, that's how some of them get you. This product is free. Just give us shipping and handling.
She ships it to you no matter where you are. All you have to do is send us your contact information. So, with that said, it's been a great, terrific Tuesday. You know me. I fast this morning, and I am ready to eat.
Well, I think we've thrown out all the tidbits we can. Well, now you know.
That's right.
That was a play on words. Yes, it was.
But guess what? Until
next week, same Queen time, same Queen station. Go holla.
Feeling overwhelmed, overweight, or out of sync with your health and body? Overtime Fitness Toledo. Need motivation and direction with your goals? Overtime Fitness Toledo. Here at Overtime Fitness, we strive to provide a warm, inviting, judgment-free, family-oriented atmosphere, offering customized and nutrition workout training. Because you are worth it. Give us a call and book your session today. 419-708-0005. Overtime Fitness Toledo. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.